We turn now to Tuesday's primary election results. Some key wins for candidates endorsed by former President Trump and one major loss in South Carolina. Joining us now is Julia Manchester, national politics reporter with our partners at The Hill. So, Julia, first let's talk about the special election for Texas's 34th Congressional District. It's a surprise that's sure to raise alarms for Democrats.
Yeah, absolutely. And it raises that optimism for Republicans, Nichole, who are definitely looking to make inroads in some of these border communities in Texas. You see, Nichole, back in 2020, President Trump, while he may have lost the general election, he won Texas, and he actually made inroads in a lot of these predominantly Hispanic communities along the border. So, for example, in the 34th Congressional District that Mayra Flores won, President Biden won that by just 13 points. However, now, roughly 2 years later, a Republican congressional candidate is winning it in a special election. So now you have a lot of Republicans turning towards the 28th Congressional District in Texas and the 15th Congressional District in Texas as a way of really trying to make those inroads even more with the Hispanic community and the border. I also think this proves, in a way, that Republican messaging on the border in particular is making inroads in this area.
All right, well, Julia, a mixed bag for former President Trump going after two incumbent Republicans in South Carolina. So what can we take from those results?
You know, a mixed bag in two very different districts. So, for example, in Congressman Tom Rice's district, that's around the Myrtle Beach area, for example, that's a much more conservative district than Nancy Mace's district, which is in the Charleston area. So Tom Rice, who voted to impeach the former president, definitely faced a lot of blowback for that decision among Republican primary voters in that area that tend to lean more conservative and maybe even more pro-Trump. However, Nancy Mace is in a slightly more moderate district that includes the Charleston area, like I said, along the coast of South Carolina. And of course, we know that Nancy Mace did not vote to impeach Trump. And although, you know, she's been critical of the former president for his involvement in the January 6th attack on the Capitol, you know, she at the same time has sort of tried to embrace him. So it's kind of like walking a very fine line. So it worked for Nancy Mace. Tom Rice, though, definitely paid the political price in his primary.
All right, Julia. So, you know, continuing to focus on the former president, he did get his guy in Nevada's Republican primary for Secretary of State. So tell us why that's such an important race to keep an eye on.
Well, it's such an important race, as will many secretaries of state races be, because we know that the Secretary of State in states tend to very much play a role in the electoral process. And we know that this candidate was, in fact, sort of going along with President Trump's false accusations that the presidential election was stolen from him. And not only that Secretary of State candidate, Nichole, we saw that Joe Lombardo in the gubernatorial race, who was endorsed by President Trump, he won. And of course, Adam Laxalt in the Senate primary, Republican primary, he won as well. And Adam Laxalt was actually President Trump's 2020 campaign co-chair in Nevada. So I think that speaks volumes about what the Republican primary and electorate thinks about President Trump and his false claims that the election was stolen from him.
All right, Julia Manchester live in D.C. for us. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.